Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football. So much going on these days. The games are over, and it's the off season. And people ask me all the time that don't really follow college football, what are you going to talk about for the next 8 or 9 months? Are you kidding? I cannot keep up with transfer portals and recruiting. And that's in addition to all the stuff that I want to hit on, like reviewing national championship seasons and giving outlooks for 2019. And I'm not even going to get us started on everything that I've got planned for Mark Rogers, teacher, voice of college football. But we've got James Coleman on the line from Fifth Quarter College Football. You can also catch him on his podcast, Sports Den Live. So just go to Big Game James 36. Big Game James 36 on Twitter. You can catch all of his content right there. James, how you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. It's Florida cold. It's not quite as cold as it is up there where you guys are at, but we're like 50.
50?
So that's
how are you going to make it?
It's like leather jacket and Ugg boot weather.
All right. I'm sitting around 25, something in that range.
Yeah,
25. So cut that in half. All right, James. You know, I reached out to you, not that I don't like having you on here, period, all the time. We can always find something to discuss because your insight, as I like to point out, and for anybody that's not caught James either here or elsewhere on his platform, you're talking about a guy who loved college football growing up, was locked in on it before he ever played at that level. And then he did play at that level at Florida State at fullback from 2002 until 2005, and then he's been covering it. So you got the media perspective, the player perspective, the fan perspective across the board with James. So a lot of recruiting stuff going on with Florida State right now and their wars with in-state rivals. So what's catching your attention right now?
Right now, it's just the irony. Like when we walked into this season, everybody expected the University of Miami to do a rebound. I mean, to have another year like what they had before. Florida State to be good, and then Florida maybe to be a year or two away from actually being good. And it's kind of been the opposite of that, where Florida State's still somewhere in the middle. You've got Florida is doing really, really good, a lot better than everybody anticipated, and Miami kind of imploded. But you're starting to see a little bit different aspect of what Miami's doing, especially having a different coach. I mean, Manny Diaz promoting himself up to the head coaching spot, where they're going out and they're recruiting that transfer portal pretty heavily. Florida's pretty solid with what they did. They got some needs, they got some strength. And Florida State is just like the sizzle with Willie Taggart, and what he's been known to be as a recruiter just is no longer really there as much as it was before.
So the sizzle's not there. Well, that obviously came off with 5 and 7.
I mean, it's there. It's just not what people thought. Like, we thought Willie Taggart is going to get you a guaranteed top 5 recruiting class. We thought Willie Taggart was going to be able, like, you thought the level of play was going to be a lot higher than what it really is, and it just hasn't been what fans expected. Like right now, I think we're right at about the 16th ranked class, and you know, fans want to be in that top 10. They want to be able to brag, want to be able to have something to go up against.
So in terms of specific names of guys that are out there, who are going to be the hot commodities in the next several weeks as we get close to, we're about a month away, 3 weeks away from the big day on Wednesday that closes the entire class for everybody. But who are the names that people are talking about in the state between Florida State and whomever else?
One of the names that, like right now, that Florida State's pretty heavy in, there's going to be some battles toward the end. These guys like attention, not necessarily just attention, but Florida State has been pretty heavy on Travis Jay, a young man from out of Madison County, a place that Florida State just does not lose commits to. Like, we've done very well in not only taking these guys, but developing them, getting them into the NFL. See, like guys like Chris Thompson, like he's still with the Redskins, came out of there. We had Jacoby McDaniel, who was a 5-star out of there some years ago. A lot of talent comes out of the Madison County area, and Travis Jay is one of those guys. I remember when I first heard about him, he was a 3-star. I don't like it makes. I've always questioned this star ranking system, but Travis Jay made me question it even more, because if you watch this kid's film, there's no way he was the 470th player in the nation. When I was watching this film, I was watching a guy who was on par with Akeem Dent. And his rating, he's rose. He's like a 4-star now. potentially may add a fifth star, but he has a lot of, like, the way the secondary struggled with Florida State during the time allowed maybe like University of Florida, Alabama to be able to come in and maybe get him to delay signing early. I'm hearing that he's just enjoying the process right now, and there's nothing for Florida State fans to really fear. He's just getting to be there in June. Another guy, Quayshawn Fuller, a kid who's really been all over the place. He's kind of like Rambo Davis, who ended up flipping for Florida State, signing to Texas A&M. Like, they're the type of kids that come out and say they're committed to Florida State, put a top 10 list out, and Florida State's not on it. So, but I got some insight with some family members on him. He's just a kid that really wants some attention right now, and I don't knock guys for it, because this is about the only time you're going to, well, now the transfer portal kind of throws a new unique wrench in all of it. But before, this is the only time everybody's going to recruit you, and you're the prettiest girl at prom. So you need to be able to make sure you handle all of this stuff. And then the last guy right now is Sorrells from out of that we're trying to recruit now. Florida State's kind of had him at arm's length. South Carolina's really where it's looking like he's leaning. But you finish, that'd be another guy that you could add as a 4-star that'll give you some more depth at D tackle. I know we signed True Thompson, but there's a lot of, is True Thompson Florida State caliber? Is he somebody that we just got to be able to add lineup? But then there's some guys out there's some other reach projects. So we still have Pickens, but the concerns with Pickens right now, wide receiver, and Florida State's only going to take a premium wide receiver. They're not going to just take a guy because they signed a big class last year. But Pickens' grades concerns a lot of people. But if they think they can get Pickens eligible, then he's a guy. He's a take for this class, as well as is it Bingo? He's a commit. I can't think of his name on top. We're commit to Ole Miss. Mingo. Mingo. We're going after him really, really strong, and they think they have a chance to flip him. They're still going after some offensive line. Cooper, who committed at linebacker to the University of Illinois. It was always said that he was going to commit, but he was not going to. He was still going to take his visits. If he takes his visit to Florida State on the 25th, he's going to flip. Just look for him to flip. R.J. Henderson was a guy that FSU came on strong. They believed his relationship with Kendall Briles would make him a lock to FSU. Everybody got surprised when he committed to the University of Florida at the Under Armour. Excuse me, at the Under Armour. I think that put a bad taste in their mouth. They Florida State just shut down recruiting him. So FSU fans, there's no chance. If he signs, then it'd probably be the reverse of what is always rumored for college. He gave us a bag, as opposed to us paying him. He paid Florida State to be in that class. But right now, he's Gator or somebody else. We're not dealing with that. All in all, I said that FSU fans, are disappointed, but they shouldn't be overly disappointed, because when you think about coming off of the worst season in program history, all this turmoil, rumored coaching changes, and a lot of movement there, and you see, the momentum that comes with the new coach that everybody likes down in Miami, and the momentum that comes from having a 10-win season at Florida. Florida State is in a pretty solid position. They're going to sign 26 to 28 players, and with that alone, they'll probably bump up into the top 10 in a top 10 class. Which I mean, we can cry all day about how bad the offense looked, but we addressed that with Kendall Briles. So we're gonna move forward with that. We can talk about the offensive line play, but if Fry is there, or if Randy Clements comes from out of Houston with them, then that's going to be good. The biggest thing that FSU fans are really worried about, and I'll blame us in the media for really fanning flames to the fire, is that there were some reports, and there were reports that there were going to be a lot of staff changes made. Almost to the effect of what you see at Bama, where he might have tossed the entire staff. And there's been a lot of momentum. There's been a lot of rumors. But the thing that Tag is going to always do is what any good coach would do. If you have an opportunity to upgrade at like recruiting, if you have an opportunity to upgrade at a position, you're going to upgrade at that position. So if you have an opportunity to get a better coach, you'll go get a better coach. But that does not mean you are going to get one, if that makes sense. So there have been guys that come in like Terrell Buckley. Terrell Buckley has been in town. They're to interview for a DB position to give Harlan Barnett some help. There's been some rumors. There's been a lot of Ron Dugan's rumors with him being with Miami's offensive staff being let go. But what fans have to do is we have to trust the process. And we've never been through this before, so we give grace. But every recruit that just because a recruit commits somewhere else, that doesn't mean Taggart whiffed. Like, he may not get another D coordinator. So it just looks bad. But this just the way recruiting is and all this stuff has just been real interesting. But a top 10 class should be what FSU fans, when it's all said and done, expect.
So just to give some measurables to what James is talking about, two of the significant players that he mentioned right here, looking at the 247 composite. Jonathan Mingo, again, a hard commit right now to Ole Miss out of Brandon, Mississippi, wide receiver, number 30 rated in the country, a top 204 prospect who's been on the commitment list for Ole Miss since July of 18. And then, obviously, you were talking quite a bit off the top about Travis Jay, who's got a high ranking here at cornerback, 19th rated in the country, number 22 prospect out of Florida, in-state number 22 prospect out of Madison County, a top 172 player, according to 247 Sports.